Success leaves clues. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And I want to give you a couple of quotes that I heard yesterday on the news from our man at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And I quote, "My first duty as president is to protect the American people. And today, I'm taking action to fulfill that sacred obligation." He is speaking of violence in our cities, Portland, Chicago, other places where there have been murders. All right. Further, he goes on to say, we're also pleased, let's see, to each of you, please know that America agrees with you that we pledge to honor the memory of your cherished loved ones by fighting to bring safety in every single community. We will bring that safety. You will see. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if the first obligation is to protect the American people, where the hell have you been about this COVID-19 thing? Instead of grabbing hold of the reins and putting us in the right direction, making masks mandatory and taking proper procedures, what have you done? You have finger pointed, blame this one, blame that one. We don't have, we're almost 6 months into this thing, or we are 6 months into this thing, and we still don't have all the equipment we need. Why haven't we been preparing? Now, some states did on their own, but there are other states where it just broke out. Your buddy in Florida wasn't prepared, and look what's happening down there. I mean, if your job is to protect the American people, let's not be a hypocrite and say, well, I want to protect the American people in this scenario, and in that scenario, well, what I want to do is I want to leave it to somebody else. Now, clearly, when you look at the two situations, the two challenges on a national level, I live near Chicago, and one of the things that I frequently speak with a buddy of mine who lives in Austin, Texas, a guy that I work with on a regular basis, and he is about the biggest Trump supporter that you can ever imagine. And he and I go back and forth. Actually, what I try and do is not go into politics, but he always sends me emails about this one said, that one said, so on and so forth. But my point is, you can't be a hypocrite about these things. And in Chicago, one of the things that concerns me is there are so many murders that happen over a typical weekend that most of the news about these murders is on page 6 or page 7. I mean, it's commonplace. That's not the way it should be. There's a problem there. Granted, something needs to be done. I have my own ideas on that, but I'm not going to get on a political soapbox at this time concerning that particular issue. But on a national level, I mean, the people that live in, Idaho, what happens in Chicago is not so particularly relevant to their day-to-day living. But certainly this COVID-19 thing is something that does concern people on a day-to-day basis. I know I'm concerned. I mean, I don't go to Chicago at night. I'm not worried that I'm going to get shot because I stay out of there. All right, I don't live there. That's not a problem for me. Same as the people in Idaho don't live there. But where I live in Northwest Indiana, the COVID-19 virus is right there. It's something that concerns me. Now, I'm very pleased that finally the wearing of masks has become mandatory in my state. I believe that'll create the right consciousness that people need to have, the right mindset that people need to have to solve this thing. But once again, success leaves clues. So what have we seen on people doing this successfully? Well, we've seen the 3 states that bonded together, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. they had certain rules, they held things back, and they got their numbers down. And once you get the numbers down, then you're in a position to succeed. Now, look, I'm not Tony Fauci. I'm not, a scientist. But right from the beginning on this thing, my common sense has told me what the right thing is to do. Before they were saying, hey, everybody needs to wear a mask, when this thing first came out, I went on the internet, I looked it up, I saw the number one doctor in the world on this subject, a guy from South Korea. What he said absolutely you need to wear masks. And this is at the same time that the committee and Fauci and everybody else was saying, oh no, you don't need to wear them, you don't need to wear them. I said, hey, we need to wear them. Okay? Well, situation changed. They came around, they saw that that was working, that was right, so they did it. Why aren't we doing the other things that are going to get this thing solved? You can't do tracing, you can't put this thing under control until you get the numbers down. Am I the only one that sees that? Obviously the people in the European Union and other countries like New Zealand and other countries, Canada, our neighbor to the north, Canada, they see this thing. They saw that you got to get the numbers under control, and they took steps to make sure that that happened. Why aren't we following the model of success? To get the model of success, sometimes that's difficult. There's a lot of trial and error, but it's already been done for us. We've seen scenarios around the world where this thing was exploding and the people took the right actions. All right, we're getting into the game late about doing the right thing, but let's get into the game, and let's get into the game fully, or we're going to be burdened with this virus forever. It's nice that, they're talking about a vaccine. It's, and I pray, like everybody else is praying, that the vaccine will come, that it will work, that it will come soon. But why are we waiting on an if come? Does that make sense? You want to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Boy, are we in for the worst right now if you take a look at the numbers around the country. No other country, well, I wouldn't say no other country, I don't know that, but the civilized, advanced countries are not going through this. Why? Because they followed the success model. This also applies to you in your daily life, in terms of this virus and in terms of what it takes to become successful as an individual. You don't see the top people in the world, the Elon Musks, the Bill Gateses, the Zuckerbergs, these guys, don't have a bowling league 3 times a week. They're focused on their individual objectives, on their burning desires. Are you focused on your individual objectives, your burning desires? It takes focus. Focus is the key. Dedication to reaching one particular end. That's what it takes. Success leaves clues. Read some biographies of people that are successful. You will see that they had tunnel vision on their particular objective. It's okay to be a copycat if you copy the right cat. And the right cats have singleness of focus, and they leave clues. Their success leaves clues. Please be a detective. Be a success detective and follow the successful leaders, the ones that are doing it right. Does that make sense? And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, success leaves clues, let's get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.